The minute you start sitting in that couch and doing nothing, you're going to spiral down. There's so much more. As long as we have breath, there's something for us to do, something for us to speak, something for us to receive, something for us to give.
Welcome to Hello World, where we help you rediscover the good that is all around us. Well, love in action is the best way I can describe our guest, Eva Go. Eva volunteers many hours serving the community locally, nationally, and globally. You can see Eva on rooftops, nailing down tarps after a hurricane that came through a town, or she'd be prepping food for mass feeding at an outdoors kitchen. And Eva does it all in her signature style. She has her bandana on, her sunglasses, and a pair of boots. Eva is also a strong proponent for staying active and eating healthy. So welcome to Hello World, Eva. Thank you for coming and share your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Eva, why don't you share with the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, just any tidbits you wanted to share with the group.
I'm a native Houstonian. My husband and I have 3 wonderful kids. I'm a group fitness instructor, and I do logistical planning and training for mission teams, and am blessed to do a lot of different kinds of volunteer work around the country and abroad.
So one thing I like to do with all of our guests is to ask 3 words that you think best describe you.
I think the first word would be spiritual. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. Gave my life to Christ when I was 17, and it changed my life. And it affects everything that I do. It motivates everything that I do. And it gives me a spirit of hope and positivity in all the things that I do. So that's probably the first word. Another word would probably be free spirit, free-spirited. So I'm very much a nonconformist, and I just love kind of going about things. I'm very spontaneous. I'm probably the champion of fly by the seat of my pants, which is a blessing and a curse. And then a third one is probably creative. So if you give me a challenge or something to do, I'm going to figure it out, whether it's a traditional answer or something more innovative.
So you're like a problem solver. You can probably take everything that's at hand and make something of it.
I try.
Very good. So Eva, since we have connected more recently, we've known each other for a little while, but with life happening, we have more of a casual interactions. So since we connected on Instagram, I tend to play this game. Where is Eva now?
Oh my goodness!
Because you're like literally all over the place. So I wanted to just ask. So sometimes I see you with tool belts on, hard hats, and power tools. What is happening there?
Well, first of all, I think every woman needs to know how to use a power tool. But I have
Which one's your favorite power tool?
My saw, definitely my saw. I am able to travel a lot. We work with an organization here called 4B, and it was born out of Hurricane Harvey. A number of churches came together to try and address all the different homes and people that we could help. And we have been doing that since. 6 years later, we're still working on Hurricane Harvey homes. Another organization I work with is 8 Days of Hope, and I travel the country with them. And they have several different arms, from a rapid response arm to a rebuild arm, mass food arm, and a safe house arm. So a lot of those involve construction or disaster response. So whenever you see me in those clips, that's what I'm doing. So we can be chainsawing or tarping or removing debris.
Like gutting out.
Yes, mucking. I've always thought we should come up with a new shirt that says, muck a house, get guns, no gym membership or a special carry license required. One of these days, I'm going to print those.
Yes, yes. It's not Gold's gym. What do you call it? Muck's gym.
That's right. God's gym.
God's gym.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Amen.
So you did the 4B. It all started with Hurricane Harvey. And have you always done construction type of service, or it all became from the Harvey?
I have been doing mission work for most of my life, whether that's a counselor at a camp or doing construction.
Yeah.
I would say it probably came to a head in 2008 after Hurricane Ike, when we started going out with chainsaws and doing things, and I became very engrossed in the missions ministry in our church.
Yes.
And then one by one, just different storms, things were happening, and every time you participate in one of those, you get another tool to put in your belt. And so you continue to add skills and
Yes.
things. But yes, I've been doing it for quite a while.
So I probably sound a little bit stereotypical. Like most women go out to missions, we're planning VBS, planning kids' activities, but you're out there with power tools. And I'm sure we'll put in a lot of pictures, so it's a sight to behold, just out there and doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love to roof, and I love to
you love to
install
roof?
flooring. Yes, those are probably my couple of favorite things, and chainsaw work. But there are a number of women out there, but you're right, predominantly it's men. But in all the things that I do, there are so many opportunities for youth as well as women and men, whether it be in the field or in the
So anyone can do
background.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is a job for everyone. It doesn't have to be brute labor.
And you don't have to be too physically fit to do it. You can do something.
Absolutely. We have people from all walks and all ages, from youth to retirees,
Yes.
helping out. So yes, there is something that everyone can do.
And you guys would travel from disaster to disaster. So it's not just in Houston, but out of town as well, right?
Yes. Once upon a time, I had been to more countries than states, but now, after all the disaster relief, I've been to about even now, but from Philadelphia to South Dakota, Mississippi, Ohio, Alabama,
Wow.
Florida, quite a few.
That's also too bad that we have that many disasters to
Yes.
recover from.
Yep.
So, okay, so the other thing I see is this giant, like a food hall. I think of, I'm dating myself, I see MASH, like, like this
Yes.
giant food, like food service or food prep area, which is very different from roofing and tiling. So what is that?
So that is the mass feeding arm of 8 Days of Hope. And that is a full trailer that can be transported, mobilized, deployed to an area. Say if the power grid is out after a storm, we can bring in the trailer and set it up. Some very sophisticated ovens and machines that can seal food so it can be either handed out warm or handed out to families so that they have something to eat. But we can actually process about 8,000 meals in a day. It runs, I think, about 27 trays if everyone's in their place a minute. So it might take about 5 hours to churn out 8,000 meals. So it's an incredible effort. It parallels all the other arms that we do as far as trying to address all the different needs, from helping people mitigate their damages in their homes to feeding them. We actually have a laundry trailer as well.
Oh, that makes
that can
sense.
help do community laundry.
That all makes sense. Those
yes.
are all. It's great that I have a clean house, but I don't have a place to cook,
Right.
and electricity's out. So, what's your role in the big kitchen? Are you like the chef, the sous chef, the scrub master, if that's Boy Scout term? I don't know.
I am a willing set of hands. So my strength is probably gap filling. I'm a volunteer leader for them, but I will do anything. So in the mornings, a lot of times I will get up. So we get up anywhere between 4 and 5 in the morning and cook breakfast and serve. And then I will take teams out into the field and then come back and serve. But it's whatever is needed. Absolutely. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, and I also recently saw you in Kenya. What is that? Because that's not here. It doesn't look like you're roofing or cooking. What's happening in Kenya?
So as far as the international travel, that I do. There's a couple of few organizations that I work with. So we work with children in Kenya, have been doing that. I personally have been involved in it since 2006.
Wow, long time.
And we're just trying to get kids to finish high school. And so we go there and support children, do training there. We take teams there. So I'll do the logistical planning and training for teams. Have helped take anywhere from 4 to 41 people to Kenya, which I'll never do again.
41 is too many.
It's a big group, but yeah, it's an experience just to feed into all those kids. And then in Mexico, we do pro bono eye surgeries there. So,
wow.
Yes.
So you help coordinate providers and medical providers to do surgery, because clearly you don't do surgery.
Right. Well.
Or do you?
If I say it, I might have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. But again, I'll do anything from just helping source out people to go on the team. In all those places, I have been an assistant. I've slapped cheese on sandwiches. I'll clean, pre-op, post-op. It really doesn't matter. It's always on-the-job training. And for people who are ever concerned about, I don't have the skill set, or I don't have the money, or I don't know how to do it, so much of it is just, do you have the heart to do it? Do you have the desire to do it? And really, that's where it all starts. And I've seen it firsthand that finances, for example, are always the things that inhibit people from going on trips. And I'm telling you that if you feel led to go, and in my book, if you pray over it and you feel God is leading you to go, then He is going to work everything out. That's just who He is. All He's looking for is a genuine heart and a servant heart. And then the finances fall into place. The vacation days come into play. And God uses you in an amazing way.
Wow. So, what's happening right there?
So I would love to tell you about donating blood. If you're not already a blood donor, it takes an appointment. It takes less than 30 minutes. To donate blood. So I'm a huge proponent of giving blood, platelets, plasma. Platelets you can actually give every 7 days, up to 24 times a year. If you have an accident and someone's in trauma, of course they go through a lot of blood, but cancer patients also need it.
Sure.
People in surgery need it. So for me, that is such an easy way to give. Our bodies are made to replenish all of those things, and it takes just a little bit of time. The chairs are comfortable. There's a junk food snack factory in the back
right
when you're done. I really don't see a reason why people are unable to go, other than medical reasons. But I'm a Commit for Life donor for sure, and I'm always encouraging people to give. It costs us nothing, and it can save a life.
We can
literally.
look up the. I think there's a location in Sugar Land that should be.
Yes.
We did it once. One period of time we did it, and then we haven't gone back.
Yep.
So that's a good reminder.
You can do it every 56 days. Donate whole blood. But yes, it's very easy to set an appointment. Go in. They're giving away free T-shirts.
Hey,
yes.
I can always use
we like
those.
free, so yes.
Me too. Also, when we chatted a few days ago, you mentioned that you ended up with poison ivy because you were.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Yes, you were out on a search.
Yes. I've actually had a couple of brushes with poison ivy. Once was climbing a tree with a chainsaw, not fun. And then most recently, it was on a search with Texas EquiSearch. So it's another organization. I always look for organizations that I can tangibly see what they're doing, that I can participate in it, and I know where funds are going. So wherever I can give outside of my time and financially, I want to know that organizations are, I'm looking for 100% pass-through or very low overhead because I want the money to go to the actual efforts and mission. And so Texas EquiSearch is another one of those. I was actually on a TV segment on the Isaiah Factor with Tim Miller, the founder of Texas EquiSearch. And so if they, they will look for people, which are always very challenging and can be a little taxing. But yes, I did get poison ivy there, but very small.
Yeah, price to pay, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Nailing, tarp on a roof, climbing, okay. Cooking, okay. But the search is so heavy.
Yes. On a funnier note, if I can change a little bit, we were out in the woods, and it's all kind of undisclosed, so I'll just kind of be vague about it. But we were out in a hunting area, and I don't hunt, but I've now come to know and recognize cameras. I had no idea that on leases and things there are so many cameras, which can be very helpful
Yes.
as you're searching. But in my case, when you have to go to the restroom, I will never go to the restroom in the woods again without looking for a camera.
Oh my goodness, that's true. That's true.
But to put a funny note on
Yes.
on what we
Yes.
do, not to.
Not to lighten it, but I
Yeah.
think the point is well taken that it does help bring closure when times like that.
Yes.
For the families to know. So that's excellent way to support, but very, very tough on the heart. So Eva, we just went through a ton of different efforts that you pour your time into. Wanted to just ask, why do you devote so much time in helping, I guess, seemingly strangers?
Since I was a kid, I've always just had a soft heart for people, and especially the underdogs, I guess. When I was younger, I came across the word philanthropist. And that kind of word has always stuck with me most of my life. And whether that be giving of your time or your resources, it's always been on my heart. And then when I gave my life to Christ, I just knew that, the verse, we love because he first loved us. And the least that we can do is pay it forward, not because we owe God, but because we have experienced the incredible love of the Lord and how much he loves us. And it gives us a whole different set of eyes when we're looking at other people, and that everybody has value. Everyone is fearfully and wonderfully made,
Yes.
created in the Lord's image. And so I just feel drawn to help people, and I'm able to do it, and I have the time to do it. And I think with great power comes great responsibility. It's a Bible verse as well. That's a Stan Lee quote from Spider-Man, but it's drawn,
Yes.
it's a biblical reference that whoever has been given much, much is required. And so to the extent that I can do that, then I'm going to do it.
Wow. And I noticed that the type of things you do tend to be more physical and more active. Is that something you look for when you? I know you talked about that the effort has to be 100% for the people they're helping, no overhead, things like that. But do you look for a particular type of places to serve, or just what is presented to you?
I think God leads me to different things, and I am just drawn to certain things. I mean, I've done inner city ministry with kids. I've done homeless ministry, and I've been at a desk and just organizing efforts, which is my least favorite thing to do. But I'm also just willing, and I feel like I'm attentive to God's moving, the movement of the Spirit. If things come up that I feel like I should be involved in, then I'll just walk in with a blank mind and see what there is that I can do and however I can help. So yes, but I do appreciate the brute labor. I do like the
Sweat
efforts
it out.
where we can grunt and see a physical change in a situation.
How do you know when you're, obviously you're able, you're capable, and you're willing? How do you know that the thing you sign up for is in the will of God, or versus just busy?
Definitely have to police that, because even in mission work and service, we can get burned out and we can overdo it. But for me, the sweet spot is the peace that God gives me in a situation. There is no better place, no sweeter place to be than in the middle of God's purpose.
Sure.
And that's always very clear to me. If it's clear in that I have a great peace about what I'm doing, not that there isn't hardship, not that there aren't challenges, but there is an inner peace.
Sure.
Knowing full well that you have to go through some of those things to accomplish something. God confirms things through that peace. He confirms things through the people around you. And there's a harmony with it all.
Sure.
And oftentimes he confirms it in his word as well. I mean, there's been many times where I've wondered, and I open up my Bible or I go to church, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And it just totally confirms and affirms what I'm doing.
So having that peace and the harmony is what I hear. You're one. It's not easy, but you feel at peace.
Yes, and you can't really go wrong if you're helping people.
How do you maintain? Certainly, the peace of God does help, but how do you maintain this level of service? Because as we're talking about the different places you serve, you talk about since 2006 and since you were a little girl, since like for a long, long time. How do you maintain that that steadfastness in doing this? How do you keep from compassion fatigue or hopefully not bound down to hardship, but I'm sure it's not cakewalk every time.
Yep. I have people ask me that question actually a lot of times, or they jokingly say, "You're the Energizer Bunny," or "You're MacGyver," or "I want whatever drug you're on." I'm like, really? I guess, and someone just asked me yesterday, how do you not get sick with all the things that you're doing? And I give that to the Lord. Again, not that you're not going to get sick. I've been on a mission trip where 2/3 of the people were seriously ill. So yes, that happens. But in the big scheme of things, people are going to get sick. You're going to get tired. You're going to have to sleep extra or whatever. You're going to have very fatigued days. But I think what I do, because I love it so much, that's what fuels me. And I think that you need to do what you're passionate about and be passionate about what you do.
Yes.
And then it's never a job.
Yes.
It's just a desire in your heart. So it's a fulfillment. And God never promised us a boring life. He promised us an abundant life where your cup overflows. And so these are the things that cause my cup to overflow. And that's what fuels me. So yes, I do sleep really well at night, and I can turn off that I can turn off that switch.
Yes.
But when I'm in the middle of it, it's the drive of doing what I love to do and seeing the results of lives being changed or people being helped or being uplifted. That is my adrenaline.
That makes it go. That makes you go. Okay, so with this level of volunteering or serving, is your family and friends in full support? Because sometimes, like when I'm volunteering and my daughter says, "I need your help for something," I say, "I'm busy," like.
Yep. My husband, yes, is extremely supportive, and I do get to do what I do because he does pay the bills. I do turn out some income, but I'm very thankful that what he does enables us to live comfortably and to be able to do these things. My kids, yes, they have come in with us. Sometimes there have been times where it's like, you're so busy, and I have to kind of reel myself in and say, okay, do we need to take a break? But our kids have been immersed in ministry with us since they were very young. When we did the homeless ministry in Houston for about 7 years, and I cooked, and my husband did the music and helped do the messages. But I distinctly remember a pivotal point with the kids. I think my son was probably about 2, and it was a very hot, I think it was July or August, and a lot of the homeless people were laying on cardboard or they were out in the grass, and I was setting up food, and my son was hanging onto my leg, and he wanted to eat bacon. It was for breakfast. I know that he's probably 80% clogged, but because he loves bacon, but he kept asking. Turkey bacon. I'm telling you, better. Okay. But
actually, we switched to turkey bacon.
Get away from that thick cut. I'm telling you. But he was hanging onto my leg and just harassing me for food, and I was just very frustrated. It was one of those mom moments where you just let go on your kid, and I grabbed him by the shoulders, and I said, "Do you know that when we're done here, I can take you to McDonald's and we're going to get food, and when we go home, you're going to put your head on your pillow in your own room." And I turned him around and I said, "Look at these people. They're laying on cardboard, and they don't know if they're going to eat." And his eyes just got really big. And he goes, "Okay, Mommy, I get it." And many times after that, we would be at home, and he would say, we have too much food in the house. So I said, thank God, he gets it. He gets it.
There you go.
How convenient.
We didn't know we needed last time, so it just kind of stay here.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
since then, they're great kids, and I started taking our oldest one to Africa when she was 16. I knew it was time. My son went when he was 14. The other one went about the same age. And the two girls have been with me in Kenya many times. We've stayed there from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, and they've all been with me to Mexico. And my son slapped the cheese on sandwiches when he was about 5, and no one got sick. So I was very happy about that. But yes, it's a big part of our family's lives, and yeah.
I think nothing is more, I don't know, satisfying when you are blessed. You feel blessed to go, and you feel like you have all the support and all to carry you there, you know, in your heart, right?
Yes.
As you go.
My parents, they do have trouble sometimes with the amount of travel that I do and why I'm doing it, and they would much prefer that we just give money rather than me flying anywhere or driving all over the country. Sure. And so it's difficult. I've gotten to the point where I've called my mom at the gate and said, I'm going to Africa for 2 weeks, bye! Because I don't want to get an earful. But there will always be people who don't identify with what you're doing or appreciate what you're doing or disagree with what you're doing. Yeah. But you have to know where you are. And again, if you're in the middle of where you're supposed to be, then you have to learn to channel through and break out of all the white noise that goes on, because it's always going to be there. Yes. And if you're where you're supposed to be, then just keep moving forward.
That's right. But at least your immediate family, your nucleus family is all, this is part of your family culture. Yes. This is what you guys do.
For sure. It needs to start young. Just giving back and instilling in your kids just service and giving back. There's so much more outside of this circle. Yes. And so the more we speak it to our children and involve them in it, the better they'll be as adults.
And we're hearing that too with our previous podcast guests. And many of them are serving and lifelong serving, and their role model was their parents.
Well, so, I hope that's the case.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wanted to see, what does Eva Go do for me time? How do you replenish for yourself?
So what I do is me time. I think that's the paradox.
Oh, wow. What you do is your me time.
It is. I mean, if I do need some quiet time, I will stay home and just chill. Yeah. I love the beach, a long walk or just quiet walk, a little solitude. So definitely take those moments as well. But what I do, again, it's not work, and it is my therapy. It is my downtime. If I need to get away, then I will go sit in my car so no one can talk to me, or I swim or do something like that to where it's just me and no interference.
Okay, that's good. Well, everything is in full alignment. That's a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
So what are some memorable moments as you have served in all those different places in different capacities? Were there anything that particular stood out for you?
There are many. I love going to Mexico. We do pro bono eye surgeries there for the indigent. And
is it like cataracts? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And sometimes you don't know the depth of what the impact that you have on people's lives. In that case, it is literally the lame to walk and the blind to see situation. People come in and they've been blind or are blind for a while. We do a surgery, and the next day or 2 days they're able to see. So that is incredibly rewarding to be able to see that. Not that that's why we do it, but when you get that blessing of an immediate impact, that's great. When I was in Africa, to see the kids grow up, have been there for 16 years myself. So to see some of the kids who have come in very desperate situations, coming from very disparate situations and malnourished, and seeing them graduate high school. Wow. It's like your own children. And to know that you're able to be in that with them is so fulfilling. You know.
Yeah, and you go year after year, so you can see them through time. Right?
Yes. Yep. It's
Nice.
an annual trip.
Annual trip. Wow. I think over the years, did you learn anything particular about yourself during this time of serving?
I know that if God leads you to something, He's going to get you through it. That's for sure. And no matter what challenge I face, it's not me anyway. It is the Lord that fuels us through. I firmly believe that. So I've just learned to trust in Him more. I'm humbled. That's probably the main thing through everything that I do. It's not about me. And yes, I do get to do a lot of things. But the more I do it, the more I'm humbled by it, because A, I get the opportunity to do it. B, I know, just being human, that we have our own flaws and we have our own failings, but that the Lord enables, equips, and empowers me to do the things that I do. Just tells me, always reinforces how much He loves me. And so it's always very humbling to help people. Yeah.
Well, with all the many, many people's lives you've touched, what have you observed or learned about, say, humanity?
That we all have, no matter where you live, what your upbringing is, what language you speak, what color your skin is, we all have a universal need to be loved, to be known, and it's a God-shaped whole. Whether that's telling people straight up that Jesus loves you, or showing them that Jesus loves you. I've seen people filled that way, but we all have the same needs.
That's neat because you're seeing it in a pretty wide range of cultures and people groups, to see that universal truth.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, it's easy for me to see that, say, in my family circle or in my community, but you're seeing that repeat pattern across.
People have a spiritual need. They need to know their significance, and people feel that in so many different ways.
To be loved and to be known.
Yes. To have significance. Sure. And to have purpose.
Okay, well, change subject. Okay, let's change subject. I noticed that majority of a service, obviously is very active, and you're a big proponent on staying active and move. When did you get into all this fitness stuff? I didn't know that about you.
So after having 3 children, your body starts to go downhill, and you start changing dramatically. But it was probably
it's our prize.
Yeah. Probably around 2013, I would say. I can say that. We had young children, and definitely getting out of shape. And I decided to get a gym membership. Went to the YMCA, fell in love with Zumba. And at that time, I was going to Kenya, and I thought, we need to do this in Kenya. I want to dance with the kids.
Yes.
And so I got certified in Zumba and started dancing with the kids in Kenya. And that just kind of snowballed to doing water instruction. I love water, is my favorite. And anything dance.
It's also low impact, right?
That's right, absolutely. Not necessarily low intensity, but low impact. So it just kind of evolved from Zumba to water exercise to nightclub cardio to fierce funk. So it's hip hop, different dancing formats, to barbell work, to boot camps and things like that. So I worked for the YMCA for a number of years, and have now moved to Lifetime Athletic, and have been with them for 5 years.
Wow.
Now, yes.
And I see all ages, and they're able to boogie.
Yes.
Anybody
Anybody can dance. I'm telling
later
you.
You're going to show us how to boogie.
Yes, I hear so many times I have 2 left feet or I have no rhythm, but no worries.
Yes, check.
Yeah. If you can't do the steps, nothing beats stepping side to side. To me, as long as you're moving, it counts. It's about having fun. It's more about the community.
Yes.
To me.
Yes.
And just having fun.
And I see you're able to bring, like you say, you brought it to Kenya, or some videos I see on the construction site.
Yes.
Like almost anywhere, anytime, you'll break out and line dance with the crew.
For sure. Dance transcends all cultures. And music and dance is a part of almost every culture, right? And it breaks down walls. It makes people comfortable. It makes it fun. So it's a little thing that you carry in your pocket. You don't need to carry a tool. It's a speaker or your phone.
Or your phone,
But
yeah.
it is a way to just engage people. And I've done it on a roof. We've done it at sites with homeowners, with
Yes,
workers.
I saw that, yeah.
Yes, I love it.
And it just breaks out the smiles. I mean, nothing faster than moving to music and it just, even if you're in the middle of, hard work.
Yep.
That little dance break.
That's exactly right. You need those breaks.
Oh, that's very nice that you're able to combine those two things, the activity, the dancing, and the group fitness onto your service and your mission work. That is, see, everything you do is in alignment. This is such a blessing.
Thank you. Love it.
So I also recently saw that you're competing in, or you've been selected to compete in the 2023 Fab Over 40, which totally is true. You're fab. So
I'll pay you later for that.
you're welcome. What is that, and what is that competition about, and what would it mean for you in terms of winning?
So on Instagram, I started seeing this competition, Fab Over 40. It's a celebration of women over 40 in beauty and just ability. That it doesn't just end. And I'm a strong believer in aging gracefully and that every chapter has something good. So I looked into it. I had to register, submit some photos, and then they selected me to be a competitor. And so the main reason to do this is that they're raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So it's not a beauty contest. It's not a judged thing, but it's purely by votes. But the winner, who gets the most votes in a number of rounds, it actually runs now until December, wins $40,000, a spa-cation for 2 in Arizona.
Nice.
And a 2-page layout in New Beauty magazine. And so, yes, I've been competing in it. And if you want to vote for me, I will throw my link out there.
I've been voting. And you can vote every single day.
Thank you. But they ask you some questions about what are your secrets to being fabulous over 40? Ask you, what would you tell your younger self? What kind of wisdom you have for your younger self? And what would you do with the money? And for me, there are so many good stories out there. I've been reading some of the other profiles, and everyone has a great story. But for me, I would set up a philanthropic fund, so I would use all that money. I've been involved in so many different organizations, and again, there are so many good ones out there. And the fact that I've had experience firsthand working with some, and I'm looking to do more, that I know that their efforts are tried and true, and they're pure and they're good, that I want to try and support organizations like that. I don't know if I would do a line item donation or if I would start up an endowment or something and use the interest, so it'd be a perpetual fund to be able to help communities and people. So that's what I would want to do with the money.
I can totally see you put it into great use and further whatever you're already doing and more.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, everybody should vote. And I think, being way over 40, it's nice to see women still out there, still killing it, and still being relevant.
Yes.
As a nearly empty nester. So a lot of times people think of that as riding off into the sunset. But we are like in our golden hours with abilities and capabilities to
Yes.
do a lot of good. And
Yes.
that's what I see you do every
Thank you.
day.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
I love Michelle Yeoh when she won the Oscar for Anything, Everywhere,
All at once.
all at once. She said, "Ladies, don't let anyone tell you you're past your prime." I was like, "You go. Don't let anyone tell you you're past your prime. It is not over until it's over." And the minute you start sitting in that couch and doing nothing, you're going to spiral down. There's so much more. As long as we have breath, there's something for us to do, something for us to speak, something for us to receive, something for us to give. So don't become complacent. Don't become a couch potato. And it's not like, oh, I've been working all my life and now it's my time to just rest. You will not believe what kind of rest and fulfillment that you'll get from doing service way beyond what you made money
Yes.
doing. The very things that we pursue in our lives, from riches to success, I really believe, and there's nothing wrong with those things, and I enjoy nice things as well, but those are the very things that begin to smother us. And I've seen that as I've gotten older, thinking, why on earth do I have all these good deals in the closet, and why have I got this stuff stockpiled, when I find my real value, fulfillment, and gratification in doing stuff outside of that. So don't stop.
Don't stop. Keep
'Cause
moving.
Yes, I think everyone has something that they're supposed to champion.
Yeah.
Whether it's a small effort, it's not small, but I mean, you know, small effort or a large effort, there's something to be done. So we want to have an incredible legacy, not for our name, but for those that come behind us.
Indeed, very well said. I usually like to ask my guests at the end, what is the one or two takeaway that you want the audience, if they stepped away to get coffee or a snack while they're watching this, what would you like to say?
I end every fitness class that I teach with, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I would love for people to know that they have value and they have purpose. So yeah, if you have any issues with thoughts on ability or what you should be doing, get up and move and find it. And so you can do it. Hey there, we're about to do a line dance to Chris Brown's Fine China. Jump in with us whenever you're ready. Get up and move. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right, this is your freestyle time. Come on, freestyle. Let me see what you got, James. Solid footwork. 4-wall line dance, 32 count. Here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Sit, scuff. Side salsa, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. James Brown, take it up and hop, 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 cha cha, hop, hop. Back it up in 1, 2, 3, 4. Left turn right through the side. Get up and right to left, right and right. Left and the right side salsa. Once we get around once, I'm not going to call it. We still got it. Take it up. Back it up. 2, 3, 4. Left turn right. Nice.
Wow, I messed up some, but just get right back
Y'all,
into it.
I know. You look good. Good stuff. Come join us. Start moving. You'll never regret it. Stay active. Be healthy. You're on a journey.
Woo! It feels good.
Gotta follow her.
Yes. And don't forget to vote.
Yes. Vote fab40.com/2023/Eva-Go. G-O. Thank you.